Hi, let's understand business. In this session, we shall be discussing about motivation through the theory of Maslow. Yes, through Maslow's theory of hierarchy of need. Before we go to the actual theory, let us first try and understand what is motivation or how can we define this term motivation. What do we understand by this term? A person is said to be motivated. What does it mean? It means that that person is showing certain traits, certain behavior. Behavior of what kind? Behavior to do something. And that something is an urge or a strong desire which keeps him motivated. So basically, what we can say is motivation consists of certain wishes, desires, urge, or inner drive that initiate certain sequence of events leading to a particular behavior. So, what is motivation? To summarize, motivation, it all starts from some kind of an inner urge, inner drive. What kind of a drive? It is a drive to satisfy or fulfill some kind of need or want. For motivation, we can say that motivation refers to an activated state within a person that leads to a goal directed behavior. And from where does this motivation starts? Motivation all starts from recognition of a need. Since we discussed that motivation starts from recognition of a need, let us try and understand the characteristics of need, or from where do these needs come about? How do these needs come about? First and foremost, we know that needs are utilitarian. By the term utilitarian, I mean that needs are for a particular purpose. They have some use. There is certain functionality to needs. For example, you are called for an interview. So you have a need to travel to that office to give that interview. You feel thirsty. So you have a need to quench your thirst. So you may take water, you may take a coke, depending on how that need is, you tend to satisfy that need. Then needs could be hedonistic. By the term hedonistic, I mean that there are certain needs which are purely for pleasure. You have a hobby. By following that hobby, you are giving pleasure to yourself. It gives pleasure to you. You read a nice book. It gives you pleasure. You go in for an adventure sport. It gives you pleasure. So need may be hedonistic. Then needs may be innate or they may be learned. What I mean by innate is there are certain needs which come from within, and learned needs are those which we learn as we move around in the society. You have always been wearing maybe a t-shirt and a jeans and you have always been happy about it. Then you join a big company and there you learn that no, perhaps you need a tie, you need a proper suit. So needs may be innate, which is something which you had always been using, which was always there. Need for clothes, a basic clothes, and it could be learned. You need a proper clothes to attend your office. Then needs could be dynamic. By the term dynamic, I mean that needs change over a period of time. Needs change means that let's assume that today you are using a two-wheeler. A few years down the line, you might think that I should promote myself to a four-wheeler. Then you might think, why should I drive? Perhaps I should employ a chauffeur. Later on, you might think that private vehicles are creating a lot of environment hazards. The air pollution is there. So you might think of using a public transport. So needs are dynamic. Then needs could be internally or externally aroused. What do we mean by internally or externally aroused? You are thirsty, you take a glass of water or you take a coke. At times you are not thirsty, yet you see that everyone around you are having coke, so you should also have a coke. Everyone around is having an ice cream, maybe why should I not take ice cream? So the needs could be an internal needs which you want, you are hungry, you eat something, or externally aroused. That is, you see everyone is eating, so perhaps I should also grab a bite. Then needs could be conflicting at times. What do we mean by conflicting? There could be two sets of needs which are opposing to each other. Let us assume that you are a health concern and you do not go in for lavish foods. Yet at times you might think that why should I not enjoy myself or indulge myself in a sundae, in an ice cream. So at one time you have a need at one place to be health conscious, to avoid heavy food, and at the other time you might want to indulge in lavish food. So needs may be conflicting at times. Once we have this, let us have a look at what Maslow had to say about needs. So Maslow's contribution about need was, he said that needs are hierarchical in nature. By the term hierarchical, he meant that there's a typical hierarchy in needs, which we will be discussing in the coming slides. Maslow gave the concept of a hierarchy of need, wherein he said that the lowest level of need are the physiological need, followed by the safety and security needs, the social needs, ego needs, and finally self-actualization. The physiological needs are the first level or the lowest level of needs. These include the very basic needs like food, clothing, shelter, and the like. These needs are also referred to as basic needs, innate needs, frugal needs, biological needs, biogenic needs, physiological needs, etc. Once the first level of needs are fulfilled, people start looking out for the next level of need as per Maslow, which involves their safety and security. By security, I mean both personal as well as financial security. These needs include physical safety, protection, stability, security, mental peace, including regular income, permanent shelter, and the likes. Once safety and security or the second level of needs are more or less satisfied, people start looking out for the next level of need, which is the social needs. Social needs include affiliation, friendship, relationship, belongingness, etc. Social needs is trying to be accepted in the society, where people try to maintain themselves socially at a certain level, where people are able to interact with other members of the society and associate with them. Once the social needs are met, people now start looking out for the next level or start moving, or they have the urge to satisfy the next level of need, which are the egoistic needs. These needs are fulfilled as individuals rise above the general rank or general status of other members of the society. These needs are something to do with the prestige of a person, the fame, status, self-esteem, etc. As per Maslow, once the egoistic needs are satisfied, that is, once a person believes and truly understands that he has risen above the rest of his peers, he stands out, then comes the need for self-actualization. Self-actualization is where an individual attains the highest order of achievement in his own chosen field. That is, he is able to actualize, he is able to realize the purpose of his life. This stage reaches once all the other levels of needs have been fulfilled. Let us now see what are our takes from this Maslow's theory of hierarchy of need. First and foremost, this theory tells us that not all needs are equal or not all needs are of the same kind. Secondly, we know that there are several levels of need. Maslow categorized these needs into 5 distinct categories, and the levels are such that once the lower level of needs are satisfied, only then would an individual start looking out for the next level of need. The urge and urgency to fulfill different kinds of needs is also different. That is, the most urgent kind of need are the physiological need. Then comes the safety and security need. Then would anyone start looking for a social need? Once he is socially accepted, only then would he look for egoistic need or to excel in his field. Wherein in the last or as the ultimate uh, need, he would reach the self-actualization level. As the lower level of needs gets fulfilled, only then the next higher level needs start showing up in an individual. The higher level of needs cannot motivate a person unless and until all needs up to the just lower level are more or less fulfilled. That is, a person would not look for safety unless his stomach is full. The safety and security would come later. Once he has secured his food, once he has secured his safety and security, only then will he start associating with others. Once he has associated with others, or once he is at a particular level, only then would he realize that okay, now I need to excel or go above them. Once he has reached that level, only then would the urge come to fulfill his life calling. Next, this theory tells us that as one moves from lower level to the upper level, the locus of control for motivation moves from outside to within oneself. For example, a person is more or less dependent on others for the lower level of needs. He can easily be motivated or moved to do certain things based on his lower level of need. As he rises up, then all his needs, all his motives, all his actions are more or less directed by his own intellect, by his own mind. So the locus of control for motivation moves from outside to within the self as a person moves up the hierarchy of need. So we have these 5 levels of needs. So once we know the takes from the Maslow's theory of hierarchy of need, we know that the application to this particular theory are innumerous. It can be applied to almost all the fields of management. For example, when it comes to marketing management, marketers can better segment the market, target their customer based on the needs of the customer, and they can better position their products accordingly. They can design their marketing mix better based on the needs of the customers. They can understand consumer behavior and they can motivate the targeted customers to make the purchase. They can create and retain loyal customers through motivation or motivating people in the right way to be attached and to remain loyal to the product. In terms of HR or human resource managers, what they can do? They can select proper candidates based on the job offerings, based on their particular needs, at what level a particular person is and what would be his need, and whether my job offering or whether my job content suits to his kind of needs, and I'll be able to keep that person motivated and keep the morale of the employee high at most of the times. He can handle disputes better, knowing the kind of need a particular person has and what all needs can be satisfied and through what a person can be kept motivated. The HR manager can create and retain long and loyal long-term employees. The hierarchy of need theory is actually the key to human motivation, because once we know how persons need would vary and how people would behave based on their different levels, we can actually motivate humans to do what we want them to do. So it is almost the key to human motivation. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. For queries or feedbacks, please get in touch with me at this address. Thank you.